What's going on, y'all? We are back again for another review of Married to Medicine Season 4, Episode 2. Forecast clouds with 100% shade, okay? Um, we start off seeing what everybody's doing. Let me just say this. Quad's nephew is so freaking cute with his little afro. But that scene with her and her nephew's mama, child, all that fucking shade. And I understand where Quad is coming from. Quad, she wants her house a certain way. She let her her baby brother come out there and stay, and not only just let him stay, but she let his girlfriend slash baby mother stay and their child. So that says a lot about Quad. But she's like, I'm letting y'all stay here. Please just have my house in order. Okay, we went over the rules of the house. Do we need to go over them again? Why do you leave clothes here? Why do you leave this? And I totally understood where she was coming from. So I didn't fault her for that. But when she had that girl up in that kitchen talking about some, let's teach your ass how to cook, she said, bitch, you look like you been in the kitchen already, but you should have been over the stove, okay? I said, Quad, you better step lightly. And she caught herself. She said, don't make me say that. I said, bitch, you'd already said, okay? Because, her, the Monica is a big bitch, okay? She's a little chunky something, I like to get down to her size, but anyway, that's another story for another day. So, she was just saying how she is a little disappointed in her brother. He dropped out of school, he didn't go to college or whatever, and he wound up having a kid. She wished that he would have just finished his education and then got married, then had the child, but his life wasn't planned out that way. That's not how it went. Lisa Nicole, she's talking about how I guess it really struck a nerve what Toya said about her, having a nanny and having somebody else raise her kids, even though Nanny Daisy comes, Aunt Daisy as they call her, comes in. And you can see the kids just want to spend time with Lisa because Lisa was like, she's a career woman. She got to go do this. She got to do that and all that stuff. Okay, girl. Her storyline is kind of boring to me. Um, Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone comes in loud as hell to Jack the Jackie office. And Dr. Jackie said, she always over here at my shit because she work part-time. I'm busier than her. She may not want to say that she part-time, but bitch, that's exactly what it is because I got more patience than you. I said, look at that little slight shade right in there. So after that, Dr. Simone was talking, they was talking about what happened at the party the night before and, shocked the way that it went. And Dr. Jackie said, even though, Lisa, people was trying to tell her the risk of what it is to have a child at the age that she is, she's a little sympathetic because a few years ago she was at that same point, and they did that little flashback where she was trying to talk to her husband about, freezing eggs and all that stuff. And the husband really wasn't here for trying to have another baby at this time. So she understood where she was coming from. But Dr. Simone literally sat there and was like, I don't understand why Quiet got so pissed off at me talking about so she wanted to snatch my face off. Girl, it's okay, y'all friends and all that, but you cannot dictate or control another person's uterus as to when they're gonna have a child. Okay, I'm pretty sure she knows the risks and all that stuff. And the fact of the matter is she don't want to have a child. Leave her alone. And you acting like you don't understand why she got pissed off at you. Girl, you snapped on her first and got loud with it. Okay? And therefore she went on a defense mode because you came at her so hard like that in front of everybody. In her business and shit. You literally turned the shit from Lisa Nicole to Quiet and it ain't had shit to do with her. So of course she gonna get pissed. Come on, let's not play dumb, Simone. Then Toya has her friend Janice over there, and Janice is telling her about, first of all, I don't know what Janice is training for, but that bitch, I'm trying to get on her level. She says she train in the morning, two hours a day, and then when she get off of work, she do another hour and a half. Bitch, I'd be fortunate enough to get an hour in, okay? Because I be like, dead tired. God damn, okay, I need to go take a shower. Alright, but shit, more power to you. But she started talking about some little experience that she had with Dr. Heavenly and how when she first met her, Dr. Heavenly was very much Dr. Heavenly. She has no filter, asking her who she is. Oh, you a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor, I'm his wife and we do certain things and all this stuff. So you work for him. No, I don't work for him. I work with him. Okay. So, y'all got kids, so you like the Brady, we like the Brady Bunch. So that means that you adopted their kids and all that stuff. I'm sitting here like Dr. Heavenly, I can see her saying all this stuff. And when they showed it, I'm just sitting here like, girl. And Dr. Heavenly probably don't even be trying to be offensive. That's just her fucking nature. And come to find out the man first wife is dead. That's what happened. And I'm just sitting there like, oh Lord. And Toya was like, yeah, she don't want her to be seen as the mean girl because um she know Dr. Heavenly, but some of her, the way that she comes off, it is kind of messy and it is kind of offensive or whatever, especially to somebody who don't know you. You don't come off that way to when you try to make first impressions and stuff like that. And they just did a little run through of all her little shit, and I was like, yeah, she gonna have to work on that. But it's Dr. Heavenly, I don't think ain't nothing gonna change. So, Quiet and Simone, they meet up, and Simone brought it up in a little way, was like, so you ever, because Simone, no, Quiet was like, no, oh, girl, I'm losing my voice. It's been a little bit raspy and all this stuff. She was like, why? Because you've been screaming at somebody lately? And I was like, okay, Simone, that's the way to bring it up. Let's just go there. And she was like, because you hollered at me, come out the bad, talking about something, you're going to take my face off. And Quiet told her, like, you don't have to come at me the way that you came at me. That's the reason why. And I'm just sitting here like, Simone, like, you really thought that the way that you came at her was cool. I mean, call yourself out. And I think she sort of did, but she was like, I'm just trying to be your friend and tell you, you are pushing a certain age. You don't want to be in the same boat like Lisa Nicole trying to have a baby or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, if she want to have a baby, whenever she want to have a baby, let her have a baby. You cannot keep clock of her uterus. Let her keep clock of her own uterus. Let her do what she wants to do with her own body. And let her and her husband figure that out. That is not your responsibility, and that is really not your business, okay? And there's no reason for you to get pissed off and get upset at her because she don't want to have a baby when you want her to have a baby. You're not her husband. Quit clocking her like that. Like she said, I have so much stuff that's going on other than trying to have a baby at this moment in time. I know what my husband is. I sleep with him every single night. I'm not the one that's trying to go through a marriage and stuff don't work out and then I get left holding the bag and all that stuff because it's not going to happen. I understood where Quiet was coming from, but like I keep on saying throughout this whole review, regardless, I don't think Quiet wants to have a child, period, okay? But that's something that should have been discussed, really discussed before her and her husband got married. And I think Quiet needs to come to that conclusion and she needs to admit that shit to herself because we all see it, all right? Okay, so guess who's back? Guess who Bizak? Mariah. I was about to say Mariah fucking Carey. Wrong, bitch. I can't wait till Mariah's shit comes on next month, though. I can't wait. Um, Mariah is back on a little, handicap thing for her foot because she done fucked around, went skating, and broke her ankle in two places. Bitch, when she said that, I fucking cringe, okay? Anybody who broke something, you know you're gonna do the same thing. Been there, done that, don't want to go through it again. You be careful as fuck next time, okay? And so at this moment in time, Lisa Nicole came back over to her house and she was just discussing some stuff that happened at the little party. And then, of course, Toya comes up and how she feels about her and her remarks about her and the nanny. And, seeing if she said that shit for real. Do she mean what she say? And surprisingly, Mariah was taking up for Toya. Remember, Toya and Mariah had a fight in the first season. One in the first season at the Carrie's house. I think so. Um, and that ain't cool, I guess. And she said at first I thought the bitch was just dumb as fuck, but she cool and innocent or whatever, So she don't take to heart some of the things that she say. She said Toya has been the most consistent of everybody. Whatever she just says what comes to her mind too. Okay, sometimes she just don't think about it. And it probably gets her in trouble, and it is what it is. And they started discussing the reason why Mariah is back because Mariah did say that she was not here for them because this ain't family. Remember when they went on a trip to I think Hawaii, or I think it was Hawaii. Was it Hawaii or an island? Jamaican. Well, Hawaii is a fucking island. Jamaica or some shit. I think it was Hawaii. Whatever. They went on their trip last season, and when she confronted them, and she was just saying this ain't no family, and she was done. But she said she's in a better place now, and hopefully they can get back to where they were. Okay, that's all that it boils down to. We'll see. And go back to when Toya friend was talking to her, Janice was talking to her, and she was like, I feel like Dr. Heavenly is insecure. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, that could be it. Did y'all see at the beginning of the episode when Dr. Heavenly was on the phone with her husband, Daddy, and saying all that shit in front of the kids? If I was her kids, I'd be like, so what we supposed to? You calling he your daddy too? What? That just don't make sense. That don't sound right, Mama. Stop that. That's disgusting. But I mean, to each his own. But I'm sitting here like you calling Dr. Heavenly insecure. Toya insecure as fuck too. Okay, if you got to keep on, trying to keep up with the Joneses and being so materialistic and saying what you got and how much you pay for, and yet you're sitting here $170,000 in debt. Yeah, something ain't right there. Okay, you false flagging too. So, Toya, well, while her husband was getting ready to go to work, okay, Toya was out there, gossiping on the phone with Dr. Heavenly, trying to see what she was up to. And she let it out the bag that, her friend Janice was talking some shit. It made her uncomfortable, about Dr. Heavenly. I mean, I guess, girl, you gotta do what you gotta do. And she brings up the fact, she said, girl, did you get this text message from Mariah? She said, girl, what text message? You know you got a text message from her. And it was like, nah, but I checked, and it was Mariah inviting them over to the house. And that's what she wanted them to have a get together and let bygones be bygones. So that's basically what everybody is talking about leading up to this, going to the house. And she said the only person that she seen respond to it was Lisa Nicole at first and all that. And then we get Dr. Simone talking about it with her husband, and she said that's cool. She's surprised that she didn't block her. Her husband said, she probably blocked you. She tried to just unblock your ass. That's what it was, which probably was true. Okay, and she said, unfortunately, she's not going to be able to go because she's going to be on call that day. So let's see what it is. She said she probably known Mariah the longest, and it is what it is. And we get this conversation that Quiet had with her husband, was telling him how she feels about stuff that's going on, how he's not really being that much supportive with a lot of the stuff that's going on in the house. He's telling her, I literally thought we would be further along in our relationship right now, meaning that I thought we would have kids at this point. We have to compromise, we have to work together. You can be upset with me saying that, I'm not doing enough in the house and not, helping you out with certain things, but you have to thing. You just invited your brother and his girlfriend over to stay with us, and you didn't even bring that up to me. So how does that make me feel? And she was like, I understand that, and I apologize for that. And he said, I'm trying to be the best husband that I can be. So if that means that I need to be more attentive to you, and we need to work more stuff out, and we just need to have better communication and stuff like that, I'm willing to do that. And that's all that was said. They solved their problem for the moment. That one little issue for the moment. Not necessarily about the baby, but everything's good for now. So it's time for, the party. It's a new beginnings party. That's what it's called. And I guess the theme of the party, or the color theme of the party was blue. I have no problem with that because if y'all know, blue is my favorite color, which is why I'm sitting here drinking this blueberry lemonade. But anyway, so Toya go get Dr. Simone, she on call. She literally going to the thing, whatever. And then we see Toya and Dr. Heavenly in the car together. And at this moment, Dr. Heavenly, she decided not to put on blue. Like, okay, you're gonna wear your black, you know. And at this moment in time, Dr. Jackie shows up. Lisa Nicole was the first one to show up. Then Dr. Jackie, then Toya and Dr. Heavenly, and then Janice. Okay, she got invited because I think Aiden's or their doctors or whatever, they're cool. The doctors are cool, so therefore she wanted to get, to know Janice and all that stuff. Fine. And then Quad just change her ass on up in there like bitch was walking and like she was on the fucking runway, to the goddamn door, bitch. When Mariah said let the fun begin, but let me just tell you this. I really just want to just pull down her weave just a little bit. I'm just saying that's what friends are for. That shit had me fucking rolling. But when Tori and Dr. Heavenly was in the car coming over there, she talking about some, Toya let her know what happened, what Janice was saying about her and all that stuff. Dr. Heavy was like, well, I mean, I thought they was cool. I don't understand what was going on. I don't remember this, and I was not drinking. I was sober and all this stuff. So maybe these bitches just be so insecure and all this stuff. And I was like, oh Lord, here we go, here we fucking go. So that doctor, Mariah was standing up there giving a little toast and a speech talking about how, I haven't been or seen some of you guys in a while, and I just want to invite you to the house. And I don't know, was it Toya and Heavenly were sitting next to each other, and Toya was. I'm sitting here like, oh, why would you do that? This girl is trying to make new beginnings, whether it's shade intent or not. Don't be rude like that. Was it Dr. Heavenly or was it Toya? Put that down in the comments, because I know Dr. Heavenly started laughing. And then Mariah was looking at her like, bitch, the fuck? It's just rude. I answered my own question. It was Toya that did it, and then Mariah was like, "Everything okay?" She gonna say, "Shut," laughing, and she was like, it just caught me out guard to see the text that you sent. Oh, gushy with it or whatever. Like everything is all good and swept under the rug, and I'm like, God damn, Toya, let shit go, okay? Maybe she finna get to that part where she gonna apologize and, make new and all this stuff. It's called a new fucking beginning. Like, you didn't even have to do that shit. Then they eventually went to go sit down at the table, and, they was talking. When they said, Dr. Heavenly was like, you want me to say grace? Mariah instantly said, no. The look on her face was like, well, damn, well, what did I do? Okay. And then after that, Toya brings up the fact that she said, Janice, I told you the conversation that we had at my house about what happened at Lisa Nicole's event when you met Dr. Heavily. I did say I was going to mention it to Dr. Heavenly about what was going on and what was said. And then, Janice was like, well, here go Dr. Heavenly. Whatever it is that you thought that I said, I thought everything was good. My husband was vibing with your husband and all to the good. I didn't know what was going on, and if something was going on, you should have came and told me and all this stuff. True enough, if she had an issue, she should have addressed it right then and there, but she didn't know her that well, so I'm going to give her that. But still, if you have an issue, just go ahead and tell that person, okay? She's a fucking stranger, so who gives a shit, okay, at this point? But Janice was correct. You were fucking rude, okay? You were rude when you asked that question about, it wasn't as rude as the second question, saying, oh, so you work with your husband and all this stuff. She said, bitch, when you together and you trying to build empires. When she went on that tirade, I said, yes, Janice, get her ass, get her ass. And so then she just started going on, and she said the second one was when you was talking about, did his ex-wife okay with me adopting this and, having custody, or him having custody full time. And it's just the way that she asks questions, Dr. Heavenly. They may seem harmless or whatever when you know that person, but you don't know a person. So you assuming this and you asking stupid questions. And, it may not seem like a stupid question, but for Dr. Heavenly, it's like, this is just her, okay? She automatically assumed what was going on, and I'm realizing that you don't know these people, you don't know the certain situations, so these are not questions that you need to be asking on the first time meeting a person. And that's what Janice was trying to tell her. And then for Dr. Heavenly to say, I don't think that was rude or nothing else, and if you got an issue with a person like you, that's a fucking weak bitch, okay? That have an issue with something like that. For her to come out her mouth and call her weak bitch, you's a fucking weak bitch for doing that shit, okay? Because they are telling you about yourself. Your delivery is fucking awful. All right? And that's what it was. She was just not used to somebody just coming down on her and telling her about herself. Oh, you insecure, you this. Janice got up and said, bitch, what the fuck I got to be insecure about? You just lost 100 goddamn pounds, bitch, okay? So what are you talking about, all right? I'm just sitting here like, this is not the way that shit was supposed to go. Mariah just sitting here like, they're getting a little bit too fucking loud. I mean, they were loud, okay? I hope no kids and nobody was in the house, because they just disturbed the whole fucking neighborhood with their shit. So, Quiet stepped in and was like, Heavenly, you a good person. And when Quiet was talking, I said, goddamn, Mariah was right. Bitch, I wanted to pull that shit down too. I said, why is it all the way back there and I can see that it's a lace or whatever where it starts? Okay, we're not gonna do that. But she said your delivery is all the way fucked up. It's awful. And then here come, and I can't stand when people can't take it when people are telling them about themselves and it's trying to benefit them. I don't. Quad wasn't trying to be rude to her, whatever, because y'all cool or whatever. And she's telling you you're a good person, but your delivery is fucked up. But then you want to come back and say, well, your delivery is this and your delivery that. Bitch, we ain't talking about her. We talking about you at this moment because you the one that just offended somebody. She said the way that you come off gives people the notion that they don't want to be your friend or be around you because you just all right. And she said regardless of what just happened, you call her a bitch and you should apologize. And she was like, I am sorry. They're trying to let bygones be bygones for the moment. And then Mariah said, is there anything else that we need to get out there? Here go Lisa Nicole. Well, and then it goes off. So next week it's gonna be Lisa Nicole versus Toya about that nanny comment or whatever. Toya gonna put it out there saying that your husband don't even want no kids, and then we see Lisa Nicole talking to Darren about it. Simone, I forgot to say that. Yeah, she was talking about her father and how he's been in jail, been on drugs, and whether or not once he get out, should she let him back in her life and stuff like that. And then we see next week she's talking to Dr. Jackie about how her father's been missing, and Dr. Jackie going through her own issues with her own husband about spending time and shit like that together. It's gonna be good, but y'all know Bravo kind of tried it. Because I don't know if y'all watch Bravo on Friday night, if y'all even home. But y'all do know Married to Medicine Dallas came, or Houston came on, premiered this past Friday. And it was 2 episodes. It's okay for what it is. But, I mean, I have to give it a chance. I'm not reviewing it, no. But one bitch that, what's her name? Cindy Rose. I'm going to fuck her up. I'm going to fuck that bitch. I want the black girl to fuck her up so bad. Because that shit that she was saying, oh, that first episode got me hot. Okay? But y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. I will see you guys later. Finna do Real Housewives of New Jersey. Hopefully that's some short ass shit. And then I'm finna chill the fuck out. Peace, y'all.